Okay, I don't know how well my voice is going to be picked up, but there is a wind, and this walking path is alongside a highway, so I'm going to try to be heard over this. My goal today is to make it to the top of this hill. Now this is only the first phase of it, or the first stage, which isn't very steep, but it gets steeper after the bridge over the river, river or lake, whatever you want, pond, whatever it is. So I figured while I walked, I would treat this as one of my vlogs. I'm on day 18 of the wild diet, and I'm doing pretty well. There are days where I just want to say F it all and just eat what I want, or eat what I think I crave. But then I think of all that I've accomplished in just 2.5 short weeks. Going from barely mobile to doing this and setting fitness goals and making them, reaching them. And to think that just changing what I eat accomplished that. I mean, I walked a mile the other day, round trip to and from the cafe and my house or apartment, which is phenomenal. I mean, I'm a 400 frickin' pound woman, and I walked a mile. A month ago, I could barely shower. So, it's amazing. I mean, I'm walking with a cane. So, and I almost didn't grab it on the way out of the apartment, because I was walking so well, I didn't think to grab it. I've been doing that a lot lately. But I grab it anyway because I don't want to fall over from my knee buckling on me, my bad knee. You can tell how out of shape I am. I barely got anywhere. My breath is already short. I have been getting a lot of support in the tribe community, which is really awesome, and I appreciate it so much. Some of it kind of makes me question my motivation. Like I do a morning check-in and an evening check-in every day. And I feel obligated at this point to do them. Like people are depending on me to do them. And I have to remind myself that I'm doing this for me and not for everybody else. So when you start doing things for other people and not for your own benefits, sometimes you can lose sight of your goals. And it's easy to fall off the wagon and not get back on because you feel like a failure. And if you feel like a failure, you lose all motivation. Some people need that extra sense of obligation. I'm not one of them. And I did talk to my therapist about this the other day. Sorry, I need to breathe. Getting close to the bridge. Five minutes and I'm pretty winded already. Yeah, I did try out my new scale, so I do know my 2.5 2.5 week current weight, and I've lost 20 pounds so far, which is pretty darn good. I would love it if I was further along, but the slower weight loss to me reads it's less water lost and more actual unwanted weight lost. I'm gonna have to pause this so I can concentrate on breathing, but I'll stop when I get on the bridge. Okay, I'm at the bridge. It's really loud here with the traffic, but that's the small lake behind my apartment complex. And the way I came is around that bend. It is a steep hill. The incline isn't quite as steep as I thought it would be, at least not at this point. But I know it goes up further ahead yet. There's a church up there with a giant rocking chair. I always figured it was God's rocking chair. And I want to be able to get up to that chair and touch it. And that's my goal. I'm hoping I can make it. I made it to the cafe, which isn't nearly such a trek. But yeah, I've got an intersection to cross, which I'm a little apprehensive about. I don't like crossing intersections at highways, especially since I walk slow. And I have anxiety about going far from home. It's remnants of really bad agoraphobia. Loud trucks. Anyway, I'm gonna stop recording, and I'll pick up when I get further or closer to that church. Hopefully I'll be at a spot where the traffic won't be so loud and maybe some of the wind might be blocked off. So I'll see you, hopefully. Oh, I'm taking a quick stop. Give my legs a rest. They hurt so bad right now, but I can still walk, which is the weird thing. They're just not used to moving around so much. I want to turn around and go back, and I want to stop and sit for a while. I know if I sit, I'm going to cramp up right away. And that's... down there is the bridge. I want to try not to get cars in from the intersection, but up there is the church. And I want to stop. But I'm so close to that chair. I can almost taste victory. So I'm just taking a quick pit stop. Give my legs a chance to recover. Get my wind back. And with luck, the next video segment will be up at that church. And I'm going to be touching that chair. Okay, I'm not there yet, but I just reached the crest of the second incline. Holy Hannah, my legs hurt. So I'm sitting on the rock fenced kind of raised garden pathway, DNR land, whatever you want to call it, down there on that wall. The church is just down that way, down where the lights are, the intersection lights. I'm so close. I want to get there. Just had to sit down because the The hill was making my leg cramp up, and I had to keep stopping to stretch it out. I just had to take my weight off them for a little bit. That's a steep hill. It doesn't look like it when you're looking down. But it was steep. It's more steep than the road is. I never imagined it would be this hard to walk up the thing. But this isn't the end of the journey. I got a little bit yet to go. And then I'll try to find some spot to rest up before I walk downhill on the way home and use a whole other set of muscles to keep from falling over. Jesu Domine, dona eis requiem. Jesu Domine, dona eis requiem. It's God's rocking chair, and I, excuse my language, fucking goddamn baby. And I'm touching it. Look at that. Touching the chair where God stuck his butt. I'm hoping that that church over there is open, because I need to sit my butt down, and this chair is up too high. But I did it. I freaking did it. I don't know if I can get home, but I did it. Well, I made it home. I did the math. Getting up to that chair was about a little over a mile, so it was, Google says it was 1.2 miles. And I did that uphill. And it took me an hour, a little over an hour, but I did take a lot of rests. And it took me less time to walk home because, of course, it's all downhill from there. And that took a little less than an hour. My feet hurt. There was one point when I got back to the big bridge, I thought my legs were going to give out from under me and I was going to collapse. But I grit my teeth, pursed my lips, and I made it the whole way home. All on my lonesome. I was prepared to text one of my neighbors to come out and help me during the last leg of the trip, but I didn't. I made it all on my own. And I'm so proud of myself for making that trip. I think I earned that fish fry that I'm going to tomorrow with my folks. I'm going to take it easy for a while with the walks. This was really big, and it was a really huge push. I'm going to spend another day resting up tomorrow as much as I can. Switching hands here. I'm going to rest up tomorrow. Enjoy the fish fry. I don't know what I'm going to do Saturday, if I'm still going to go to that Buddhist center in the morning on Saturday. I'm definitely glad that I have leftovers in the fridge, because there's no way I'm able to prepare a dinner from scratch tonight. I'm glad I got my dishes done already, so I don't have to worry about those either. My lower body is pooped. I can't even go from a standing position to a sitting position very easily. I'll be sharing this video on the main Facebook feed as well as the Wild Diet feed, just because there are friends and that aren't in the Wild tribe that I want to show off to, just because this is so huge for me. I never thought that I could make such a long trek Even, I mean, when I moved to this apartment in, I think it was 2014, even though back at that time I could still walk fairly well, I never thought I could handle the hill. I mean, there's a highway along it, and I used to freak out walking the highway by my old apartment. But I was able to walk along the highway. Coming home was during rush hour, and the cars were really loud, which was starting to freak me out when I got to the bridge because I was in a lot of pain. I was tired and I was stressed out. But I conquered that fear. I conquered the fear of crossing the a couple of intersections. Well, no, it's just one intersection along that highway. I hate crossing any part of that highway, even if it's not the busy part. People who drive that highway are ridiculous. I don't know what it is about that stretch of road, but it just, and some people go insane when they hit that stretch of road. And yeah. I conquered my fear of being that far away from home. I had no idea how far away it was. I just knew that it was a long distance. And I knew that I had to go touch that chair in order to satisfy my pride, and to show myself that I can do amazing things if I just set my mind to it. And there's a lot of stuff I would like to say, but I'd end up choking up, and I don't want to cry in a YouTube video. So I'm going to sign off, get these segments edited together, and upload them, and share them with pretty much everybody I know until people start telling me to stop. This has been one of the greatest days I've ever had. Because I feel like I'm getting my life back. So much for not crying on a YouTube video. I'm gonna quit now because I got an ugly crying face. So, see everybody on Facebook and the various other forums I've been to. Bye.